don't do. No, it's not. You don't do.
This other monitor for here don't freeze it.
How about now? Well, focus. This one, maybe the exposure. This one. Yes. This one on the focus.
Now, bro.
But the focus is okay.
Your monitor is not working.
Okay. You can't start now.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Good morning and welcome to our program Monasa TV this morning. I'm Doris Samuel and presenting with me is Chief Sonny Ayami. Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. This morning we'll be talking about a very serious and topical issue in Nigeria, which cuts across everybody. It affects both the rich, the poor, the young, the old, the vulnerable, the strong, and across every tribe within Nigeria. We'll be talking about insecurity. Insecurity over time has plagued Nigeria and became more pronounced from 2011 to date, and instead of reducing, it has grown and is growing, and if nothing is done, it will keep on growing until something drastic is done. Mr. Ayami, is there any security situation you can really talk about that has really touched your heart as a deviation from when you were born to what is obtainable these days?
I want to recall in our growing days in Nigeria. You see, that time we don't seem to know daytime or nighttime, because you can set out from your house or any town that you are at any particular time. You want to travel, you hit the road. But now you cannot do it.
Unless that is the way we are doing. But what would you say, is there any measure you feel can be put in place to checkmate the current trend?
Well, I want to, because I had a talk with a Nigerian based in Italy about a week ago or two, where he told me that for Nigeria to be safe again, there must be complete change of the security apparatus in Nigeria. And that is Mr. Francis, who is based in Italy, Francis Onabis. He suggested that there must be wardens, that's like policemen, in all the wards in Nigeria, so that they can monitor whoever comes in at that time. Whoever comes to that community will be monitored, and if that person is of questionable character, you call the police immediately. Unless we do this, and there is this need for complete enumeration of the streets. There are some streets, if you go to, like for Nyanya, they use landmark. If you want to see me, come to this mango. After this mango, the next house, that is not street. You understand? Because that is not the only mango in that community. There are other mangoes within. So if you go to such communities as a stranger, the baile there will not even know that I have a bad man here. Neither will he know that I have good people here. So unless we have wardens in all the wards in the country, the 700 or the local governments, so that these people are on standby. They monitor who and who comes into any community and report to the chief. The chief will bring that person, question him, what have you come here to do? What is your mission? All those things, unless that is done. But however, I want to believe with the security situation in Nigeria that because just only yesterday, the army raided some forest in Zamfara and Kebbi State. We are getting to somewhere. But if we take the advice of Francis, who is based in Italy, Francis Onabis, if we take his advice as it has been published in many online newspapers and in the television, if Nigeria can take that advice and work on it, we will get there.
But do you know some of these security agencies have been compromised? Like the police, you go and report a criminal to them. The same criminal will go there and the identity of the person who reported them will be given to them for reprisal attack.
I was watching a retired IG on television this morning, where he was being asked about the disclosure of identity of people who take cases to the police. He said, well, there is no serious policeman that can do that. No serious police, because once you report any case of security threat in a particular area to the police, in fact, it is being taken in confidence. And any policeman who does that in the breach of the oath he has taken when he was being recruited. So, coming to what you asked now, I want to believe that the security apparatus in Nigeria, as it is now, is well placed. But what is the problem there is motivation. If you place something here, you have policemen and you are not motivating them. It's like you are giving them tools to go and do bad things there. Go to some police stations today now. There are some police stations that don't have functional vehicles. They don't have stationaries. You go to report a case, they ask you to go and buy foolscap paper where they will write.
I have witnessed that.
You have witnessed that.
And they've even monetized it.
Good. They will monetize it. It's not as if they don't have it. They have it. They want you to bring out the money from their drawer there. They'll bring out the sheet of paper for you to write.
Yes, I had to pay for pen, foolscap sheet,
good.
and typing
Good.
of
And you go to a police station, they will tell you bail is free. How many police stations that really have bail is free? But it's written there. You will not pray that you don't have any situation, because you must get that person out on bail with their money. So that's the situation we find ourselves.
But is there any way the security agencies can be sanitized to rid them of such bad eggs, to ensure there is a sanity which invariably translates to good security?
How else do you think you want to sanitize the security people? Because they already have this induction. They are well sanitized right from training school to where they are today. So what sort of induction do you think you can give to them again? It's only that we pray that these people imbibe what they were taught in their various colleges. Unless that is done, there is nothing anybody can do. Because an ordinary policeman, you see that sometimes they don't wear correct uniforms again. A policeman will put on uniform, he puts slippers, and you ask him, he will tell you they don't give him boots. They have ordinance, but a policeman will buy his own uniform. They are no longer giving.
They buy their uniform.
They buy their uniform.
10 and 20,000.
So you can imagine that they call me a uniform person that I should be provided for by the government, and now I have to use my money to buy my uniform. So that's complete absurd. That's complete absurd. So we blame the government in this and blame the police authority too for not providing for their men and officers. How can you buy, unless you are in secondary school or primary school where your parents have to buy your uniform for you to go to school. But this is an allied organization that is supposed to be catered for by the Nigerian police force. And you are now being allowed or being made to buy your own uniform from the beret that you wear to the shoes. That is completely bad. It's wrong. It's not supposed to be like that. So unless that orientation is changed, they will
But
not
they
go
do
anywhere.
stand on the road to collect money from people. Can't the money be used to buy their uniform?
Well, that is part of the money they are using to buy the uniform. But if they give you account of how the money goes, the money travels. Not just because you see them on the road asking for 100, 200 naira. They do a collection at the end of the day, and they spread the money. Some of them will deliver to the officers, the people who send them. They will deliver that money, and you now call them to say, okay, this is your own, and this is your own. But again, there is another tactic some of them use. Some policemen will not collect money from you. They have somebody called Kelebe. You understand? They stand at the road there.
The road boy.
So when anybody comes, they tell the person, go and see that boy. That one collects, and they know how much the person collects. So at the end of the day, the boy comes out of the bush, deliver all the money, they give him whatever they want to, because they don't want to be seen as if they are the ones collecting the money from you. You might video them. So instead of your video falling on them, it will fall on that boy. They will tell you that, look, I didn't collect any money from you, and that is true. But they are the owners of the money. So how do you comprehend that?
So, how do the Nigerian Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and if possibly the state security services come into the security situation in Nigeria? How can they come in to help?
Unfortunately, in Nigeria, there is one ego each of the services have. They have ego. The police want to claim we were the one that quelled this insurgency. Even DSS want to claim that they were the one that did it. Or army, or even within the military, they don't have synergy. Because if they have that synergy in working together towards achieving the same goal, by this time that we are talking, you and I in the studio now, security situation would have been solved. But the Air Force will want to go alone to go and bombard area bombardment. Whereas we have Nigerian army that are supposed to be the ground troop. You understand? When the Air Force is up there, they will give them signal, don't go further. The terrorists are there in front of you. Let us do clearance operation before you move further. You understand? There must be that synergy. But here, everybody wants to do it alone, and that is why sometimes you hear ambush. They are being ambushed and killed. So that is the situation.
Then the issues of insecurity chasing investors out of Nigeria, what can be done? How is there any incentive to woo investors, or is there any guarantee
now,
to
if
their
you are
safety
an
or their
investor
security?
coming into the country like Nigeria, you want to invest, first you must think about the security. How is it in Nigeria? Can you invest in a safe climate? Is my investment safe? What are the incentives? How do I get land? Do I get land in a place that is secure enough? Or a premises in a place that is secure enough? So those are the things unless government put up the right things in place to secure the environment. There are so many investors out there wanting to come to Nigeria to invest.
Nigeria is a big market.
Nigeria is a big market for the investors. But unfortunately, and very, very unfortunately, this insecurity that started in the Niger Delta, just like Joe, it started in the Niger Delta because of the oils there. It has now moved across the country and is now being embedded in the northern part of the country. You understand? Where you have terrorists, you have bandits, cattle rustling, and all this.
Kidnapping
For ransom. Just kidnapping for ransom. In those days, we were hearing the Niger Delta militants kidnapping expatriates. But now, anybody can be kidnapped.
Thank you very much, Chief Ayami.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. We'll still be back tomorrow at the same time to talk more on security and other pertinent matters within Nigeria. Thank you and do have a great day. Beautiful and appealing to themselves, the opposite sex, and everyone as a whole. This comes in form of their impeccable grooming in terms of hairdo, makeup, and their clothing. In this report, we will be looking at hairdo and makeup now with the economic hardship presently being experienced by Nigerians in the wake of fuel subsidy removal. Makeup dates all the way back to around 6000 BC, starting with the Egyptians, who created it with the belief that makeup was next to godliness and that it appealed to their gods. Then, both men and women of all social status wore makeup. Makeup has evolved over time from the use of crushed flowers for blush, kohl to darken the eye, rice powder to whiten the face, and bird droppings, amongst others. And so it continued to be used from then, evolving over time with notable changes and refining till date. The name makeup was coined by Hollywood entrepreneur Max Factor in 1920, who went ahead to produce pancake for use by actors whose faces appeared brick red and blue in Technicolor films. But even as time goes by, the innate desire for beauty has not changed. And in Nigeria, from the 1960s, 1970 and 80, when women adorned their native attire and developed an interest in white women's red lips, up to 1990, when women's hairdo and makeups has evolved tremendously to the point where some women cannot do without makeup and very elaborately expensive hairdos. But with the present economic hardship in the country, can women still afford to do makeup and hair?
A lot of people have resorted to so many measures, as in like, I know some people that have gone naturally, as in they've gone natural. Instead of them making, someone like me, for instance, I have gone natural. I don't no longer spend money making my hair. My own is just to, if I have like some wig I usually wear. I have some wig I usually wear. You understand? As in, I will just wear it and just do my hair, plait it natural, as in all back, then wear it and go out.
I think currently with what we're facing in the economy, with the price in the hike of attachments, is what is causing what you can see on my hair right now, because this is like a ponytail and I had to make shuku on my hair because the price of attachments right now is killing, like is hectic. Can you imagine one attachment now is like 6,000 naira? So we have people now going back to using rubber, using wool to make their hair.
There's something you don't understand. We have resorted into this dreadlock women used to do, so that it will take us long time to give them money for plating. The makeup, you know, is certain with them now. Wedding, they said there's wedding. To go for the reception, they will want to do. But me, I said no. There are some excesses that I need to cut as the head of the family. You know, there are children. You want me to be spending on extravagant, that which is not fair. It's not fair at this time.
It is not funny. It is tough, and then I just give what I have. So go ahead and do your hair, but do it the way you can. But this is what I have. I still do because I'm responsible and I love my wife. But then it's just to give what I have.
We don't used to do makeup, and the hair is once in a while. And some used to use attachment before. Now they don't use attachment again because attachment is too costly.
In all this, and despite the cost, some women like
I used to braid my hair like every 2 weeks.
Can afford to spend to look good. Doris Samuel, Asset TV.
Recently gave an award of excellence to OP Company, a financial company with expanding branches across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Publisher of Asset newspaper Dr. Cletus Akwaya, in presenting the award, said OP emerged as winner of the award after its activities in the country were clearly observed and monitored.
Over 500,000 and 200,000 respectively, while its user base increased more than 40 million with 10 million downloads on Play Store.
The program lineup, still working on it, man.
I think the fact that the hunger situation is challenging as it means that we should do something because you should be innovative when circumstances arrive. If you are hungry, reduce the food. The economy doesn't improve when every citizen utilizes his own God-given ability to put into productive ventures. That is it. As simple as it. There's no magic to this. If you don't put it in, you can't get it out.
We can build on it over.
See, this one is going on air like this.
Let me see.
It was after we finish.
Then you're supposed to edit before it goes on air. How can you?
Be patriotic in order to contribute to nation building. Dr. Shiako Alfred made the call at a media briefing in Abuja. He said current reality requires that we see it a patriotic duty to contribute to the process of articulating choices in promoting the ideas of nation building.
Now, how can we begin to put in place steps to mitigate further impact? That's the point. It is a political responsibility. The government is self-pressure cannot be able, but how can we communicate with members? Now, if you look at what is happening in the country today as a gentle man, you need to follow us, because you don't have the privileges to really exercise the basic things you can do to mitigate all these problems. You have all the frameworks and everything, but the platform will be useful. Now, let us look at it again.
Alfred also hinted that there will be a book launch in honor of Professor Benedicta Egbo to boost courage among Nigerians. He said the message of the book is anchored on sustainable development in Nigeria. In Abuja, Leke Michael, Asset Television.
Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, urged Nigerians to invest their trust in the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he is leading the country on a path to redemption. He said this in his keynote address at the Ministry of Finance Incorporated Public Wealth Management Conference in Abuja. Senator Kashim, who represented President Tinubu at the event, further said that the president has made economic revitalization a top priority in his administration, stressing that Nigeria's wealth is vast, diverse and scattered across the length and breadth of the country, and harnessing these vast assets to its full potential will ultimately result in a robust economy.
And thirdly, we must attract more investment capital to Nigeria to support our growth and development. More recently, the federal government set a goal to raise at least $10 billion in order to increase foreign exchange liquidity, a key ingredient to stabilize the naira and grow the economy. At the heart of these goals is the imperative to expeditiously mobilize resources.
Other dignitaries who were present at the event include the Governor of Cross River State, Mr. Basi Otu, Chairman of United Bank for Africa, Mr. Tony Elumelu, Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment, Dr. Doris Anite, former President of Saturn, the Swedish government holding company and National Wealth Fund, Mr. Dag Detta, former Finance Minister and Chairman of the Economic Management Team, Dr. Olusegun Aganga, Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun, amongst others. In his welcome address, Mr. Wale Edun said that there is need to enumerate government assets, optimize asset potential, and utilize untapped assets, while also stressing the need for cooperation amongst all sectors in order to ensure economic growth and poverty reduction.
You have to enumerate the government's assets. We have to know how much we own, what we own, whose hands it's in, and how you're going to get it on board for yourself.
Likewise, Mr. Tony Elumelu in his remarks said that the government needs to have a strong commercial mindset and stressed on the need for access to electricity in order for the country to be fully industrialized.
Coordinating Minister, well done. We know you, we respect you, we know what you're capable of doing, and this passion, and I like the humility when you spoke.
Mr. Jetta in his remarks said that Nigeria needs to have a Ministry of Finance incorporated that is fully commercial and devoid of any political interest that will enable the country to yield assets from its enormous wealth. In his goodwill message, Mr. Basi Otu appreciated the Ministry of Finance Incorporated for coming alive after many years when Nigeria has production at its lowest level, and announced that Cross River State is available for investment, having put everything in place.
I want to thank Murphy for also wanting to participate in the ESPC, because it's very good that when African Development Bank and African...
In Abuja, Samuel Ibel, Asset Television.
Founder of Obi Ogbonna Sickle Cell Foundation, Mr. Obi Ogbonna, has urged the government to do more for persons living with sickle cell disorder at the launching of the Obi Ogbonna Sickle Cell Foundation in Abuja. He enjoined the President Tinubu-led government to further look into the plight of persons living with sickle cell disorder and figure out how they can be better taken care of, while also stressing the need for Nigerians to stop the stigmatization against them, stressing that those living with the condition should be given equal opportunity, especially in workplaces, as they have equal rights and have the ability to function like every other citizen.
Our foundation is not just about providing medical assistance, it is also about ending the stigma and discrimination that many warriors face. We believe that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their health condition. Today, as we launch this foundation, we're back on a journey of compassion, empathy, and solidarity. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of those living with the sickle cell disorder. I'm grateful for your presence here today. I look forward to your support as we raise the take-off funds to provide free health insurance for these 50 less privileged sickle cell warriors.
Mr. Obi stated that forming collaborations with relevant stakeholders and having initiatives like the OOSEF will draw the attention of the government, especially in the aspect of providing free medical care to those living with a sickle cell condition, same way they are being given to those living with tuberculosis and HIV. In Abuja, Doris Samuel.
The new permanent secretary, recently posted to the Federal Ministry of Education, resumes duty with a firm pledge to uplift the standard of education in Nigeria. Mrs. Wilson Jack is received on arrival at the Federal Ministry of Education headquarters, Abuja, by the director overseeing the office of the permanent secretary, Alhaji Zubairu Abdullahi, who officially hands over the affairs of the office to her in a welcome reception attended by the permanent secretary to the State House, Mr. Olufunsho Omotayo, Director, Senior Secondary Education, Hajia Binta Abdul Kadir, Director, Human Resources, Federal Ministry of Education, Mr. Omotayo Adeyemi, amongst others.
I am handing over the affairs of this ministry to you as it was handed over to me by the immediate
Mrs. Wilson Jack, in her speech, says she will use education as a tool to uplift Nigeria in order to contribute to the nation's development.
It is a profound honor to step into the role of Permanent Secretary, continuing the legacy of distinguished predecessors who have devoted themselves to our nation's service within this ministry.
She commends previous permanent secretaries of the ministry, including the head of Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Yemi Esson, for laying a solid administrative foundation and pledges to build further on it during her stay in the ministry. She pledges to establish a performance-based reward system driven by meritocracy within the ministry.
Federal Ministry of Education, a beacon with an existential mandate. I'm thrilled to be part of a ministry that prescribes and maintains uniform education standards nationwide.
In separate remarks, some colleagues of the new permanent secretary speaks about her competencies and expectations of her leadership as the chief accounting officer of the ministry.
The Lord will help you. Amen. You get the wisdom of solitude, the courage of the weak, and the excellent spirit of Daniel.
In Abuja, Samuel Abel, Access Television.